Hello again, this is PC Delta Link, back with our Enigmatica 2 Let's Play Normal Mode. This is episode 43. Okay, so at the end of last episode, we had just finished getting 5 times ore processing set up. And we set up the dissolution chamber, the crystallizer, and the chemical washer, all that good stuff with the sulfuric acid. That's still slowly building up. Our sulfuric acid tank is currently filled downstairs, but the intermediate ingredients for that are still building up, so that's just going to be a while before those are done. And this episode, we're going to be doing some kind of tweaking and upgrading of the base, and I'll kind of walk you through some of the changes we're going through on that. So you'll notice one of the first things is the storage drawers are gone. We have removed them. They've been emptied. All of it's been thrown into our network over here. And these are going to be eventually replaced with storage monitors, but we are not quite there yet, and I probably won't get there this episode because this is going to take some wiring behind there to finish those, and I'm just not quite ready for that yet. But in the meantime, what I am going to show this episode, and what we're probably going to spend most of this time doing, is working on the processing area. So we've had a couple times now in the series where during our auto crafting, you've seen we had like the metallurgic infusers would screw up. The metallurgic infuser would put the wrong ingredients in at the wrong time, and it would clog up the system and nothing would be crafted properly like it should be. And it was just kind of a mess, unfortunately. And yeah, there was just some problems with our previous processing room. Now, I'd kind of shown that I started to redo that an episode or two ago, and I'd kind of shown where I dug back the walls and kind of widened the room like this a bit. But now we've pretty much finished the beginning of this, and I wanted to show it to you guys and explain how this works and what we're doing before I go any further, and before this gets too more complicated and too buried. So I had said that we were going to add a third factory for each of these, and we have. So we have our crushing factories, the enriching factories, and then our smelters back there. You can see we have 4 metallurgic infusers back there. Our osmium compressor has not been moved yet. That's a work in progress. You can see the floor is absolutely awful right now. It goes for a very long way down in some places. And I had to rip out so much cabling and so much of the power and whatnot, so that's why this place is such a mess right now. It looks absolutely horrible, let's be real here. And yeah, so that is just going to have to be fixed over time. So let's get started. I'm going to walk you through how I've got this hooked up, why we've done some of these changes, and how this system is going to work once it is done. So alright, we have our network cable coming from above here, our glass cable, into our dense cable. Now we have 4 smart cables coming off this, so we are going to be able to utilize all 32 channels from this one P2P tunnel. You can see on this one we've already got 8 out of 8 used. So we will go through those in a minute, but I'm going to explain once again. I'm not sure I made it clear previously when I explained this being moved around, so we're going to explain how this change is going to help us and what we've done. So previously, we had the ME interfaces here, and these have our recipes for our different crafting materials that we decided our system needed to know. But we had these on the back of the factories. They were just on the back and directly inputted these recipes and their ingredients into the factory. There was a couple problems with that. It worked okay. It was not a bad design per se. And again, it's the first time I've ever built something like that, so it was a pretty big step for me. But as I played around with this system more and as I experimented with it more, it was definitely clear that improvements could be made. So previously, with the ME interface on the back of the individual machine, that recipe, say we ordered osmium dust, that recipe could only go into this factory. So if we wanted 50 osmium dust, it would put all 50 osmium ingots in here to be crushed. Now, we've got this set up to where all these recipes just dump into this chest right here from both sides. And what this means is that with this item conduit now, instead of processing, say, all 50 of those ingots in one machine, it will be distributed to all 3 of these machines. And so things will get done basically 3 times as fast. We have this set up, our classic, our item conduits are just input into the back of here. And then we have our extract on the chest. Now, we did have one different setting on this. Normally, this is disabled on extract. This is round robin. What round robin does, we have it enabled now, is it evenly distributes the items that are pulled from that chest into whatever input slots it has. So now, if we put, say, 3 osmium ingots in here, it'll send 1 here, 1 here, and 1 there. Each machine will get 1. It will evenly distribute all the material that's in that chest. This will make sure that one machine isn't doing all the work, and that all of them will be able to contribute and make the recipe go faster on crafting it. Now, we did have to alter some stuff to make this recipe and this setup work. So, for starters, how we'd had this set up previously is we kind of tried to keep this stealthy and kind of hidden behind the walls, just in the maintenance tunnel back here. And so, like we kind of have with this, is that once the floor's in place, you really can't see anything going on on the machine itself. And I haven't decided yet what's going to be clear glass, if anything. I like clear glass, so I probably will keep it somewhere, but I haven't decided yet. So, we're nowhere near getting ready to rebuild the floor. That's going to be a while yet. But, so because I wanted to keep things concealed, we did have to change some things and kind of make things different. So, underneath now, we have our item extract, which comes from here. And then we have these Ender energy conduits. This is providing our power to all these machines. So all of these machines now, those 3, and those 3, they're getting power from below, as well as the items being extracted. And Ender energy conduits, these are the highest tier of energy conduit that Ender IO has available. They can carry 20,000 RF per tick, and they're made from vibrant alloy and conduit binder. We've seen conduit binder before. Vibrant alloy, we've seen it before, but I'll briefly go through its Ender pearl with energetic alloy in the alloy smelter. And then the energetic alloy, of course, is the glowstone, redstone, and gold in the alloy smelter. So, not terribly expensive for the point of the game we're at. I do actually need some ender pearls. We're down to less than 100 ender pearls. But, so we created enough conduit to line up all these machines. So, this pretty well covers a lot of stuff. So, we're going to start from over here. The conduit is on these 3 machines. Comes over here, wraps under the floor. Keeps going. Gets under these machines. And then it splits off here. You can see a quantum entangleporter over there. This is where our power is coming in, is right here. Then the cable also goes this way. This goes to these machines. And then this comes over here and splits off, and we kind of turn it back into normal cable over here. And then this comes over here, and this feeds our metallurgic infusers right here. Now, for our item output, you see we have our 3 items being pulled out. This goes through this item conduit and into, you can see a gold chest there. These 3 also pull out and dip into this line and also goes that way. And these 3 come out and they also go down here. So let me drop down here so you can see what we've got. So you can see we have this gold chest down here. We have an import bus off this chest. This is pulling our items back into the network. And then all the items from all 3 of these stations, from the smelters, the crushers, and the enrichment factories, those are all going to be pulled, and the metallurgic infusers, those are all going to be pulled into this chest, and then that will pull back into the inventory. That sounds really close. It's probably right above us. Eh. That's annoying. Alright, let me see here. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there for a minute. We are going to be moving these inscribers downstairs into this room. This is going to be the inscriber room. So we're going to have all 3 of those processors being made automatically down here. We'll probably even look into a way to get automation of the Fluix crystals and the pure Fluix crystals even. Although that's going to take a little bit of work. I already have an idea of how I'm going to do it, and I think it's going to work. So, okay. So let me go through the 8 channels that we've got here, because this network is full. We have 8 out of 8. So right now we have 1, 2 on there. We have 3, 4. This is on the import bus 2 right here, so that makes 5. And then these 2 are 6 and 7. And then for the 8th one, it's actually this cable going up right here. That actually is the crafting terminal in our Draconic Evolution room. So there's your 8 channels that are currently used. Alright, so the next thing I need to explain, because we kind of went through how these all work, that, you know, the recipes, it just dumps the items in the chest. All 3 machines will process it, and then it gets pulled into the gold chest under there, and then that gets pulled back into the network. That's how all 3 of these main machines will work now. And if need be, I could find a way to... I could either add a few more recipes on each one here, or I could find a way to add another interface on this chest. I could put one on top. Technically, I could put one out here, but I don't think we're ever going to need that many recipes on these. So, alright, we're going to move on to the metallurgic infusers, because this took a little bit more work to properly automate and get it to work right. So at first I just had all these item conduits linked together, and then I realized that for 2 of the recipes that was not going to work. So because we want these metallurgic infusers to each focus on a specific recipe, each one is set up for that, because I can't... What happened last time is we had all the infusion materials and all the recipes going through the same one, and that was causing the problems, because some of the recipes use the same materials. So we're going to go through this one by one, and this is also why, you know, unlike the other chest, where these 2 are together here, I could not do that over here. Oh, they're burning, I think. Yeah, it sounds like it. Can you die quicker, please? We're busy. Yeah, he'll be dead in a second. Then we won't have to listen to that anymore. Really? Okay, whatever. Oh, there he finally died. Alright, so you can see we have our recipes here for our basic control circuits, our enriched alloy, reinforced alloy, refined obsidian dust, and atomic alloy. The enriched alloy was the problem here. So, because we also have the enriched iron and the steel blend. So here's the problem. If we have 2 machines technically here that take iron. We have the one that's doing the enriched alloy, and then we have the one that does the enriched iron. The problem is, I don't know of a single way I could have set up a filter to make it differentiate which one it needed to go to. If I set up a whitelist for iron to go into the steel machine and the reinforced alloy, it'd go into both, because both of them use iron. So the only solution was to put one of them, in this case the steel and the enriched iron, put that on its own separate interface and separate input chest. So I'm going to go into how this works. We'll start with this one for the steel and the enriched iron. So it'll drop the compressed carbon and the iron bars into here. They will get pulled out, and we have these set up to where the infusion material comes on the left, the input slot is from the bottom, the output is on the right. So here's our infusion material. So this side we'll put in the compressed carbon. Underneath we'll put in the iron ingots into the red slot. Output will be pulled back out here. And this links underneath with all their outputs go underneath here, and they do not touch any of the rest of this. And that goes into the box. So, alright. For the next one, this also took a little bit of work, because we wanted to have each metallurgic infuser specific for a certain recipe. So the easiest way we found to do that was to set up a small buffer chest in between each one and to set a filter on them. So I think we've shown off these filters before, but they're pretty cheap. It's just a hopper, which is our chest with iron. It's just a hopper and 4 paper. So these we have set up here. And you see this one, if you look in here, this is osmium ingot, iron ingot, and compressed redstone. So this is going to make our basic control circuits and our enriched alloy. So those ingredients will get dumped in here from our input chest down here, because we had to specify what machine that these are going to now. So those will get dumped in here. The compressed redstone will go into the left side, ingots from the bottom, output from the right, just like the rest. This one on the right-hand side... Oh, come on, get up there. This one is the compressed diamond and the enriched alloy. And so this will create our reinforced alloy. It'll dump both of those ingredients in there, and it'll go through here and process like the rest of them. And then finally in the middle here, we have a filter for the compressed obsidian. And then from the bottom, we have a filter for the reinforced alloy. So... Oh, geez. So we could not have... Oh, geez. We could not have a chest here as a buffer for this metallurgic infuser, because this is the input from the diamond chest back here. So this line has to be clear. We can't have a filter on a chest like we did here, because then the other items wouldn't go anywhere. So that's why this one is just 2 separate filters, and the other 2 go to a buffer chest. Now, something you may have noticed as well is these conduits are very close together. Too close for them not to connect normally. So, I wanted to point this out, is with a Yeta wrench from Ender.io, which is electrical steel and a stone gear of some kind. Electrical steel is, of course, silicon, pulverized coal, and iron. But anyway, this allows you to disconnect conduits from each other if you need to. So, like, normally... these would be connected because they're close enough together like this. So we don't want that, obviously. So if you right-click a connection, it will remove it. So that's how you can have these in close proximity and keep them from connecting to each other. Because we have to keep all these networks separate. And the same reason we had to have the output channels separate is because some of the output is actually the input for some of the other ones. So, like this one... makes our reinforced alloy, but if it outputs that and then it went into the input slot, if it mixed with the input, then it would immediately go into this chest for inputting for reinforced or advanced. Is it reinforced alloy? Advanced alloy, reinforced alloy, whatever the one with diamond is. Sorry, I'm just out of that. So that's why I also realize that the outputs have to be kept separate and they have to be on their own channels. So all these outputs go down, all of them merge together, and all of them go into the gold chest. So, alright, that's that system. And I don't have this quite hooked up yet to test. Actually, I think it would technically be hooked up. One thing I have set for now is I don't have any of these chests extracting currently. You can see it's set on never active, because I wanted to make sure everything got deposited in the chest properly first. So we haven't done that yet. Another thing, I had shown these filters, but I didn't quite show how they worked, is you just take them and I don't have a filter on this one, but I can show it anyway. So you can set it in the insert slide, and it will give you this edit filter settings option, and here you can either whitelist or blacklist items. Whitelist means it only allows those, blacklist means it will not allow those items. And then you can just take an item and put it there, and that will tell it what it will whitelist or blacklist. So, and if you don't want that, like we don't here, just take it out. And then you see these don't stack anymore, because this one is now configured, technically, because I put that cobblestone in it. It will remember that recipe. But if you need to clear it, just put it in a crafting grid, And see, this will clear all stored info. So that resets it, and then I can stack them again. Alright, so yes, this is our processing room at the moment. I still have, well, clearly, I still have a lot of work to do in here. And we will work on that. But I wanted to explain how this works so far with what we have. In fact, we probably can do a quick test on this, actually. You know what, let's go ahead and see if this works. Whoa. So let me find some of our crafting recipes, craftables. Not stored, craftable. Okay, so good sign. We can see our recipes. That's a very good sign, because we have to be able to see the recipes if they're going to be used at all. Where's our steel? Ah, there it is. Okay. Alright, so we have steel blend, but... Interesting, we don't actually have steel ingot as a craftable option. We just have steel blend. Okay, a little bit of an oversight there, but we can fix that later. Not a huge deal. Alright, so let's start with something simple. Let's start with... And I'm mainly testing this out. Let's start with 24... enriched alloy. So let's start this. It's going to hang because some of our chests are inactive right now. So yeah, see, it's one in these, but we do not have it, so let's go downstairs. We just need to make sure that this works before we really turn it loose. Alright, we did set this to extract. So this is very slowly working. These machines are not upgraded yet. I have not gone through and done that yet. I think this is the original one. No. One of these is the original one. There it is. This one's fully upgraded. The rest are not. Now where's the enrichment factories? Here they are. So this one, I think, is disabled. Yeah, and see, here's our 2 redstone to be processed into the enriched or compressed redstone. So let's go ahead and activate this. That should have split that off. It says it's enabled. Huh. That's for extract. I might have to play with that some more. Alright, well that showed that this is working though. So our metallurgic infuser is creating those properly. Let's order something from the crushers or the enrichment factory en masse and see how that works. So let's say, yeah, nether quartz will work. Let's order 200 of that. And let's quickly head downstairs. So 5, 10, and 4. Okay, so it's not perfect, it doesn't look like, unfortunately. But it's not terrible. And this one's terrible because it doesn't have any upgrades, but... But on the whole, it is processing faster. And that's what we're trying to get out of this the most, is just getting these recipes done quicker. That's what matters. So, in between episodes, I'll go ahead and fill up the upgrades on these things, because, yeah, this is almost painful looking at this again. So, yeah, that's the... What's our time at? Oh, we're getting close to our time. But, yeah, I've been spending a lot of time on this room, and I just wanted to show you guys what we had so far before I continued it, because this stuff's going to get buried. I didn't want to go through too much of this in one episode. So, like, these inscribers, this will probably be next episode, is I'll have these set up and move downstairs. The reason I had this up here still is I need to remember how I set this up that worked. Because this did work, this setup I've got up here. But yeah, I need to build that downstairs before I create a new one. But yeah, we will have all 3 processors down here to be automated. And yeah, we are kind of in the middle of a cave down here. It's really not much I can do about that. I do get enemies who spawn down here on occasion. So, again, something that can be improved later, and I'll end up having this floor closed up. We are going to add one more layer of floor, well, ceiling in this case. So this will be concealed. All this in the middle, this will not be here. So for now we are, and I haven't decided on a ceiling or walls or floors down here yet. That's kind of low priority. Finishing the room is first priority. Oh, can I get out? There we go. We don't need this power cable anymore. This was originally what was providing power to this room, just dropping down to the floor here. But we don't need that anymore now that we have the quantum entangler. We've still got 24 channels on this network, and we are going to be using those as well. The other couple things we're going to have in this room, and I think we're going to put these in the corners. Probably one there, one there, one there, one there. Our osmium compressor is going to go somewhere. We only need one of these. We don't use it very often. So this can just go anywhere. But we're going to add at least one sag mill down here. And possibly, probably 2 to 3 alloy smelters. I haven't decided yet. But probably 2 to 3. So we're not going to build those this episode because we're already almost out of time. But we're going to be... These will stay up here in case I need to process anything manually. But we'll be moving these downstairs, and actually we'll be building a higher tier version of them as well. So you can see we have our sag mill, but then there's an enhanced sag mill. And this machine is just... It's slightly taller. It's 1.5 blocks tall, which is a strange measurement. So you can't actually connect with anything on the top of it. It's like a slab. It kind of screws up placements. But it processes faster, and we don't need to have access to the top to do that. So in order to get it, though, it's not too bad. Flint, our end steel, which we've used those before. Enhanced machine chassis, which that's end steel chassis and the enhanced die blend. You know, we've gone through this before because we've used this item before. Trying to remember what we used it in. Let me look. Oh, maybe we haven't used it before. So no, we haven't. So yeah, the enhanced machine chassis. Yeah, the enhanced dye blend. This is nether quartz dust, the organic black dye, which we've seen this before. Slime with pulverized coal. The grains of pieziality. I will show those off here. This is from actually a pulsating crystal ground up. Pulsating crystals from pulsating iron around a diamond. Pulsating iron is from ender pearl and molten iron. So yeah, there's an enhanced sag mill, there's an enhanced alloy smelter. We'll be making both of those. End steel we'll go ahead and show off again real quick. It's just dark steel, obsidian, and end stone. Dark steel is obsidian, coal, pulverized coal, and iron. And then finally, these vibrant bimetal gears is just the infinity bimetal gears with vibrant alloy nuggets. Usually you find these bimetal gears in dungeon chests as a reward. But you can craft them as well just from iron nuggets, and then grains of infinity. Which again, you get those by setting bedrock on fire with a flint and steel. Oh, alright. That was a lot of talking to explain all this, but I know a lot didn't necessarily happen in this episode, but it's a lot to cover because I do need to explain how these things work that I'm creating. And yeah, I will get to upgrading this and putting this into a storage monitor bank within a couple episodes. This time, before we move on, I think with any other new mods, we're going to kind of upgrade our base and cosmetically improve. Yes, we are doing cosmetic work right now. So to give you a bit of example on that before I sign off for the day, is we've started doing some cosmetic work over here in our 5x ore processing room. So this is still a work in progress, obviously, we're not done. But we've gone with these factory blocks with wireframe for the floor. And factory blocks I really like because they're really cheap. So let me pull up the recipe for one of them, if I can. Yeah, here we go. It's just 4 iron and 4 stone, and that gets you half a stack, which is really nice. And then they can be turned into any of these blocks here. So you have quite a selection. So that's what we're using to decorate this room. We have the wireframe for the floor, we have this sturdy block, we have this rusty plate, we have dotted rusty plate, which we have these pillars with that. Using the sturdy blocks, we're making sort of like panels, if you will, around the room. So yeah, we haven't even decided on distance yet on this, so that's why this is just a rough idea of how this is going to look. And then we haven't decided on a ceiling yet either. And then, of course, we'll probably have to hide this cable, and there's still work to be done, for sure. So, yeah, we are not done with this, but I have started this, so I hope you all like the promise that hopefully this shows. And, yeah, we'll keep working on that. We are kind of trying to figure out some cosmetic work for the Draconic Evolution room, but, again, that's just going to take time. So we're looking at stuff with purples and oranges in here. Seeing if I can come up with anything in particular that strikes my fancy for this room. I do want like a fancier altar for this fusion crafting core to sit on. But yeah, we're not quite there yet. But I think that's going to about do it for today. So I hope you all have a great day. And I will see you next time.